Welcome to the studio. It's Froyle here in absolute packing mode. Look, it's all empty and it's echoey. Echo. We're halfway through packing up to move house. It's crazy, hectic, and we're heading to our favorite place, Napier. Now, the very first time I did a video of Napier was like 2.5 years ago. So I'm going to share that video with you today because you probably haven't seen it. It's a whole lot of fun. We're creating a beautiful art journal page, and there's also free digital collage papers if you follow the right link. Welcome to the adventure of Napier as we head off on this fabulous journey. Recently, we went to Napier, the Art Deco capital of New Zealand. We had a fantastic holiday, eating and drinking and being tourists and lazing around and relaxing. And through that time, I was very inspired by the colors and the texture of this incredible art period. Art Deco is like from the 1920s style of architecture and fashion and decor, and it's extravagant and glamorous and beautiful, highly patterned and textured. So of course, I just had to be inspired. I've created an art journal page, and I really hope that you enjoy watching this and then create something yourself. I'm going to include the photos that I took of the textures and patterns, tell you exactly how I put the page together and where I get the images from. So, you can do this. You can. It's all there for you, and I would love to see what you create. Join me in my private Facebook page and show me. That would be so cool. I would so love that. Anyway, here we go. Have a little look and see what you think. Trust me, it was fabulous. Napier is the Art Deco capital of New Zealand, and you would be quite familiar with Art Deco if you've seen Gustav Klimt's paintings. This one's The Kiss, which is very famous painting. In fact, I went into one of the stores in Napier, and the whole corner section of the store had this image of the kiss printed onto everything. Material, purses, bags, scarves, t-shirts, it was everywhere. So this is, quintessential Art Deco style with Gustav. And also his other one, which I particularly like even more, is a portrait of Adele Blackbauer. So that is beautiful. Loving the Art Nouveau or Art Deco style and the lavish application of gold and opulence. So this is the kind of theme I'm going to go with this particular art journal spread, because I'm so inspired by my Napier trip. Of course, while we were there was a fair amount of wine tasting. So, that's going to have to come into it somewhere. And lots of visiting shops, getting inspired by different textures. This little one came from Black Barn Vineyard. It's a serviette. Serviettes make absolutely fantastic collage material because they're so easily adhered to. They're absorbent, they're beautiful. So that's going to go in, I think, somewhere. And also this was another serviette that I got from a winery. You know how these wineries have little kind of shops and areas where you can buy amazing things. So while I was there, I took lots of photos, and the photos will become the inspiration of the collage. So this was the wallpaper. That's the original color. That was the wallpaper on the very first motel we stayed in. And then I put like this turquoisey blue-green filter over the top. I made it that color. So I'm loving these textures and patterns, and I'm going to be using a lot of that. This particular one here was a chair from where we stayed at the Airbnb and a cushion. So sitting the cushion on the chair. They make really cool patterns. So everywhere I went, I just kind of collected patterns and took photos, and so the influence of this whole artwork is going to be based on our trip to Napier. This was a shop that we went into. I absolutely loved these umbrellas were hanging up in the ceiling, and then it had this mosaic work. So all of these are in this Art Deco theme, which is working really well. I pulled this particular image off an image-free website because I thought I might put her into this design somewhere. That's a maybe, thinking about that idea. This particular pattern here, we went down to one of the wine tours and it was in this big cement room, which is a room now, but it was like a big tank where they held the wine. Amazing, right? So this texture is from the side of the walls. I've thrown an orange filter over the top of it to, you know, coordinate with the colors, but that particular texture was the pattern directly off the wall on the side of, you know, the winery down where they held the actual wine back in the day. That's pretty amazing. Loving that. These textures are blown up, so I can use those too. The thing is, what you want to do when you're first starting a collage is get all the influences that you were inspired by, and then you kind of go from there. This paper came from the information center that was all about the Art Deco theme and why Napier was like that and blah, blah, blah. So that's what that came from. That's really nice too. I really like that. So my question is, how am I going to fit all of this on my journal page? What I'm going to do is just go intuitively with this page and see how it turns out. If it doesn't work, I'm going to paint over it, or I'm going to keep adding collage bits to it until I'm really happy. And that's the thing. You just keep creating until you're happy, until you get to a place where you're very satisfied with your artwork. So that's what I'm going to do. It's going to be fun. I have no idea how it's going to end up. I don't have a plan other than I have all of these influences. Pretty sure I'm needing to use some of this color in it somewhere. But other than that, I'm kind of liking this girl. That's going to work. Really liking these dragonflies. So I guess we'll just see how things go. I'm going to use matte gel to glue the collage down, and I'm going to start with collage, and then I'll probably add some paints, and we'll just see how it goes from there. I covered the whole page with the matte gel because I'm really not sure where I'm headed with it or how much I want to put on. I think I'd like to start with the portrait of Adele. I just love this painting, and I absolutely loved the movie, The Woman in Gold. Seriously, you need to watch it. I actually don't want to put her in the art journal page because she's just too famous, really. She's too obvious. But I'm going to keep her aside because I think I might use some of these shapes and be inspired by the designs. I like that idea. Loving that drama. Oops, I just tore it. Don't like stress out if you tear things or if things don't stick down the way you want. You just gotta keep moving. Might stay like that, might not. It's quite a good chance it'll change anyway. So don't worry when you're sticking things down if it doesn't stick perfect or if you tear a hole in it, because you may or may not even keep using that same piece. You may cover it up entirely. And if in the end it's got a hole somewhere, you can fix it. I like that. It's really all about allowing yourself to have fun. in the creative process. You've only got to gauge, do I like this or do I not like this? If I like this, I'm going to add more. If I don't like it, I'm going to cover it up. Really? That's the whole criteria. You don't have to please anyone else. It's not for sale. You don't have to stress about trying to sell something. It's just about the creative process right here and right now. I'm liking this the way it's down there and then across there. That's kind of a nice balance of textures and patterns. Now, what do I want to add next? I'm liking some more reds. So I'm liking how that's looking. It's I put that extra piece on top of there because I wasn't really gelling with that beady one. I liked it, I liked the pattern of it, and it was a nice beautiful purse, but it wasn't working for the whole composition, and that's what you've got to consider. You can't just get stuck on one piece because it all has to work together. So that's really nicely covered now. And what's next? I'm thinking we might need to do something with the wine because we did go to quite a few wineries and it's a beautiful color. I mean, look at that. Look at that color. So I'm thinking we need the influence because the ambiance is beautiful. So we need the color. Let's do a little something. What are we going to do, but? All right, so let's get a little bit of, so that's Quinachrome Red Violet, which is a really nice color, but it's a bit too red. So let's make it a bit more red wine-ish, a bit of purple. Let's get a bit of water going on. Now you realize, right, I'm just totally playing. I'm not really knowing exactly what I'm doing. I am just experimenting. I'm going to pursue an idea. If it doesn't work, that's okay. So I'm liking it's not as dark as that, but that's probably too dark anyway. Maybe we'll put a bit more. That is a very dark wine, that one. Oops, look what happened. It splashed everywhere. Oopsies. I'm liking that. That's a bit better. Now what would happen if I used the influence of my wine and put it somewhere? Like, what about if I did this? Wonder what it would look like. Right? What's that gonna look? Where should we put it? Where should we put it? Where should we put it? I bet there. Do we like that? Ta-da! Hey, I like that. That's okay. Let's do it again. It's in it. It's only acrylic paint, people. It can wash. I'm thinking like that. Because you can imagine, right, if I was sitting here getting sloshed, which I'm not, but if I was, this wine glass could have spilled onto there. So if it had spilled onto there, then we need a little bit of more movement in it, right? I'm liking that. It's okay, it's fun. What are we doing next? All right, so I'm thinking that I'd like to put that figure into it. A little too much splotches going on. So I'm thinking, where's me darling? Oh, me darling. About this one. Me darling Clementine. I'm liking that. I think I'm going to put her in there. Now I have to decide how much of her I want in it. Do I want to leave the circle, which I like? Do I want to leave the mosaic? Do I want to leave the name? I don't want to leave that. I don't like that. And I might cut that out. Okay, now that we've put her on there, it kind of changes things, doesn't it? Changes the dynamic of the composition. I didn't want her in the crack because then it just makes the papers kink up and that's annoying. So I've got her right on the edge there of the fold. I'm liking this down here. I'm liking the mosaic, but there's a few, this is working good. The wallpaper pattern's working good. But there's a few things we're gonna have to fix that are no longer working as brilliantly. Loving our little wine spill over there, that's kind of fun. Right, so that's good. Liking the black and white there and there, that's working. I need to trim out these pages too, they're annoying me. Still got a little bit of glint here, so that's good. Righto, then I want to do probably some paint over that in some areas, because we've got to add gold yet. Crikey, that's obvious. I just think this section's too harsh. And that's the thing with this kind of collage, right? You could do it 100 ways. You could do it this way or that way. You could put this on or not put this on, like, yeah, there. It really isn't it's not like only one way to do something. This collage could be done 10 different ways, especially with all of these incredible textured papers. I could do another 3 or 4 with the same papers and it'll all come out completely different. So don't get too stressed out about it, because really you could do things so many different ways. And if my decisions aren't like what you would normally decide, that's really not a problem, because it really could go 20 different ways, seriously. And depending on the day, how you feel, the colors you're resonating with, the textures that you're inspired by, all of these factors help to make your decisions in that moment. The art's about now. It's in this moment now. This is how I'm feeling. And that's what the art's about. I'm liking that. I'm going to add some paint on here now to do something with that. That'd be good. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with how this is going. I put some of this beautiful iridescent bronze fine in there and on there. And when you spray it, the patina gets released. I like the way that looks. That's just kind of like, I wanted that in the background. Then I'm going to put something else over that. That is that. But I'm pretty much coming to the end of this. This paper here, don't you love it? That came from the Information Center, all about Art Deco. It was amazing. They do like tours and you travel around Napier, around the city, looking at the buildings and hearing the history of the Art Deco theme. And that was where I got that from. So I'm going to cut out some of these beautiful dragonflies because they're going to work really well. I'm going to put some there and some there in those blobby spots. And I'm pretty much happy with the rest of it, really. I like her. I don't mind that up there. I like the shape of that. I like the black and white and the red. And I like that all the texture on here comes from our holiday. From the wallpaper of the motel, from the table of the cafe. That was from the winery, the serviette from the shop. That was from the cushion where we stayed on an Airbnb. There's a bit of Clint in there, which he was through a lot of the shops, that particular Art Deco theme. So this was the one of the chairs in the Airbnb. Here's clearly the wine influence because we went to so many wineries. So that again came from one of the wineries. I'm pretty happy with today's effort. I'm just going to put my dragonflies on. I cut out a few to see which ones I wanted, see where I wanted them. And I'm thinking I'm going to go with, that's still wet, by the way. I like that there. And I cut these ones out of this paper. And I'm liking these over here. So I'm going to stick those on. And I'm pretty happy with it. It makes me feel happy. So, you know, ain't rocket science, people.
3,000 miles from home, trying to say but I will get there soon. 30 days I walk down this way, singing my madness to the moon. I met a cat on a tree, and it talked to me about things we don't see. I asked it, how do I know which is the right way to go to get me home? And it said, don't look for a reason.
Thanks for joining me. I really hope you enjoyed that art journal page. I love the extravagance and the opulence of the gold and the textures and the beauty of it all. Come and join me in the Creative Adventures Facebook page. Show me what you create. I would so love that. And it's been great to have you here in my studio.